Proverbs Chapter 11. A false balance is an abomination to Jehovah, but a full weight is his delight. When pride comes, then comes dishonor, but wisdom is with the humble. The integrity of the upright will guide them, but the perverseness of the treacherous will destroy them. Riches do not profit in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivers from death. The righteousness of the perfect man will make his way straight, but the wicked man will fall by his own wickedness. The righteousness of the upright will deliver them, but the treacherous will be taken in their own craving. When a wicked man dies, his expectation will perish, and the hope of the strong perishes. The righteous man is delivered out of trouble, and the wicked man comes into it instead of him. With his mouth the profane man destroys his neighbor, but through knowledge the righteous will be delivered. When it goes well with the righteous, the city exults, and when the wicked perish, there is a ringing shout. By the blessing of the upright the city is exalted, but it is torn down by the mouth of the wicked. He who despises his neighbor lacks sense, but a man of understanding keeps silent. He who goes about as a gossip reveals secrets, but he who is of a faithful spirit conceals a matter. Where no sound counsel is, the people fall, but in the multitude of counselors there is safety. He who is surety for a stranger will surely be troubled, but he who hates giving pledges is secure. A gracious woman lays hold of honor, and violent men lay hold of riches. The merciful man rewards his own soul, but the cruel troubles his own flesh. The wicked man earns deceitful wages, but he who sows righteousness gets a true reward. He who is steadfast in righteousness shall attain to life, and he who pursues evil advances to his own death. Those who are perverse in heart are an abomination to Jehovah, but those who are perfect in their way are his delight. Be assured, the evil man will not go unpunished, but the seed of the righteous will be delivered. Like a nose ring of gold in a pig's snout, so is a beautiful woman who is without discretion. The desire of the righteous is only good, but the expectation of the wicked is wrath. There is one who scatters and increases yet more, and there is one who withholds what is appropriate but ends up only in want. The blessing soul will prosper, and he who waters will also be watered himself. As for him who withholds grain, the people will curse him, but blessing will be upon the head of him who sells it. He who diligently seeks good seeks favor, but as for him who searches after evil, it will come to him. He who trusts in his riches will fall, but the righteous will flourish like the green leaf. He who troubles his own house will inherit the wind, and a fool will be servant to the wise in heart. The fruit of the righteous man is a tree of life, and he who is wise wins souls. If the righteous man will be recompensed on the earth, how much more the wicked man and the sinner. Proverbs Chapter 12. Whoever loves correction loves knowledge, but he who hates reproof is stupid. A good man will obtain the favor of Jehovah, but a man of wicked devices he will condemn. A man will not be established by wickedness, but the root of the righteous will not be moved. A worthy woman is the crown of her husband, but she who brings shame is like rottenness in his bones. The thoughts of the righteous are just, but the counsels of the wicked are deceitful. The words of the wicked lie in wait for blood, but the mouth of the upright will deliver them. The wicked are overthrown and are no more, but the house of the righteous will stand. A man will be praised according to his prudence, but he who is of a perverse heart will be despised. Better is he who is lightly esteemed and has a servant, than he who honors himself and lacks bread. A righteous man regards the life of his beast, but the inward parts of the wicked are cruel. He who tills his land will have plenty of bread, but he who pursues worthless things lacks sense. The wicked man desires the catch of evil men, but the root of the righteous yields fruit. In the transgression of the lips there is a snare for the evil man, but the righteous man will come out of trouble. A man will be satisfied with good by the fruit of his mouth, and the result of man's deeds will be rendered to him. The way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but a wise man listens to counsel. A fool's anger is known at once, but a prudent man conceals shame. He who utters truth tells forth righteousness, but a false witness, deceit. There is one who speaks rashly like the piercings of a sword, but the tongue of the wise brings healing. The lip of truth shall be established forever, but a lying tongue is only for a moment. Deceit is in the heart of those who devise evil, but counselors of peace have joy. No harm will happen to the righteous man, but the wicked are filled with trouble. Lying lips are an abomination to Jehovah, but those who deal faithfully are his delight. A prudent man conceals knowledge, but the heart of fools proclaims folly. The hand of the diligent will rule, but the slothful will be under forced labor. Anxiety in the heart of a man weighs it down, but a good word brings it joy. The righteous man is a guide to his neighbor, but the way of the wicked leads them astray. The slothful man does not roast his game, but the precious substance of men is to the diligent. In the way of righteousness is life, and in its pathway there is no death. Proverbs Chapter 13. A wise son hears his father's instruction, but a scorner does not listen to rebuke. A man will eat good from the fruit of his mouth, but the desire of the treacherous is violence. He who guards his mouth keeps his soul, but he who opens wide his lips will have destruction. The soul of the sluggard desires and has nothing, but the soul of the diligent will be made fat. A righteous man hates what is false, but a wicked man is odious and is confounded. Righteousness guards him who is blameless in the way, but wickedness overthrows the sinner. There is one who pretends to be rich yet has nothing, there is one who pretends to be poor yet has great wealth. The ransom of a man's life is his riches, but the poor hears no threatening. The light of the righteous rejoices, but the lamp of the wicked goes out. Through pride comes nothing but strife, but wisdom is with those who receive counsel. Wealth obtained by vanity will be diminished, but he who gathers by labor increases it. Hope deferred makes the heart sick, but when what is desired comes, it is a tree of life. Whoever despises the word brings destruction on himself, but he who fears the commandment will be rewarded. The teaching of the wise is a fountain of life, to turn one aside from the snares of death. Good understanding gives favor, but the way of the treacherous is hard. Every prudent man works with knowledge, but a fool displays his folly. A wicked messenger falls into evil, but a faithful envoy brings healing. Poverty and shame will come to him who refuses correction, but he who regards reproof will be honored. A desire accomplished is sweet to the soul, but it is an abomination to fools to depart from evil. He who walks with wise men will be wise, but the companion of fools will be troubled. Evil pursues sinners, but good recompenses the righteous. A good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children, but the wealth of the sinner is stored up for the righteous man. The fallow ground of the poor yields much food, but it is destroyed through injustice. He who spares his rod hates his son, but he who loves him chastens him early. The righteous man eats to the satisfying of his soul, but the belly of the wicked will lack. Proverbs Chapter 14. The wise woman builds her house, but the foolish one tears it down with her own hands. He who walks in his uprightness fears Jehovah, but he who is perverse in his ways despises him. In the mouth of a fool is a rod for his pride, but the lips of the wise will preserve them. Where no oxen are, the manger is clean, but much increase comes by the strength of the ox. A faithful witness will not lie, but a false witness utters lies. A scoffer seeks wisdom and finds none, but knowledge comes easily to one who has understanding. Go from the presence of a foolish man, for you will not perceive in him the lips of knowledge. The wisdom of the prudent man is to understand his way, but the folly of fools is deceit. A trespass offering mocks fools, but among the upright there is good will. The heart knows its own bitterness, and a stranger does not share in its joy. The house of the wicked will be destroyed, but the tent of the upright will flourish. There is a way which seems right to a man, but the end of it is the ways of death. Even in laughter the heart is sorrowful, and the end of joy is grief. The backslider in heart will be filled with his own ways, and a good man will be satisfied from himself. The simple man believes every word, but the prudent man considers his steps. A wise man fears and departs from evil, but the fool is arrogant and is confident. He who is quick to anger will deal foolishly, and a man of wicked devices is hated. The simple inherit folly, but the prudent are crowned with knowledge. The evil bow down before the good, and the wicked, at the gates of the righteous man. The poor man is hated even by his own neighbor, but the rich man has many friends. He who despises his neighbor sins, but happy is he who is gracious to the poor. Do not they who devise evil go astray? But loving kindness and truth are with those who devise good. In all labor there is profit, but mere talk leads only to poverty. The crown of the wise is their riches, but the folly of fools is only folly. A truthful witness delivers souls, but he who utters lies causes deceit. In the fear of Jehovah is strong confidence, and his children will have a place of refuge. The fear of Jehovah is a fountain of life, that one may turn aside from the snares of death. In a multitude of people is the king's glory, but in an absence of people is the ruin of the prince. He who is slow to anger is of great understanding, but he who has a hasty spirit exalts folly. A tranquil heart is life to the flesh, but envy is rottenness to the bones. He who oppresses the poor reproaches his Maker, but he who is gracious to the needy honors him. The wicked man is thrust down in his evildoing, but the righteous man has a refuge when he dies. Wisdom rests quietly in the heart of one who has understanding, but in the inward part of fools it makes itself known. Righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. The king's favor is toward a servant who acts prudently, but his overflowing wrath will be toward him who causes shame. Proverbs Chapter 15. A soft answer turns away anger, but a grievous word stirs up anger. The tongue of the wise utters knowledge well, but the mouth of fools pours out folly. The eyes of Jehovah are in every place, keeping watch on the evil and the good. A soothing tongue is a tree of life, but perverseness in it is a breaking of the spirit. A fool despises his father's correction, but he who regards reproof gets prudence. In the house of the righteous man there is much treasure, but in the income of the wicked there is trouble. The lips of the wise disperse knowledge, but the heart of fools does not do so. The sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination to Jehovah, but the prayer of the upright is his delight. The way of the wicked man is an abomination to Jehovah, but he loves one who pursues righteousness. There is grievous correction for one who forsakes the way, and he who hates reproof will die. Sheol and Abaddon lie open before Jehovah. How much more the hearts of the children of men? A scorner does not love him who reproves him, he will not go to the wise. A joyful heart makes a cheerful countenance, but by sorrow of heart the spirit is broken. The heart of one who has understanding seeks knowledge, but the mouth of fools feeds on folly. All the days of the afflicted are evil, but he who is of a cheerful heart has a continual feast. Better is a little with the fear of Jehovah than great treasure and turmoil with it. Better is a dinner of vegetables where love is than a fattened ox and hatred with it. A wrathful man stirs up contention, but he who is slow to anger quiets strife. The way of the sluggard is like a hedge of thorns, but the path of the upright is paved. A wise son makes a father glad, but a foolish man despises his mother. Folly is joy to him who lacks sense, but a man of understanding makes straight his going. Where there is no counsel, plans are frustrated, but in the multitude of counselors they are established. A man has joy in the apt answer of his mouth, and a word in its season, how good it is. To the wise man the way of life leads upward, that he may depart from Sheol below. Jehovah will tear down the house of the proud, but he will establish the territory of the widow. Evil plans are an abomination to Jehovah, but pleasant words are pure. He who is greedy for gain troubles his own house, but he who hates bribes will live. The heart of the righteous man ponders how to answer, but the mouth of the wicked pours out evil things. Jehovah is far from the wicked, but he hears the prayer of the righteous. The light of the eyes rejoices the heart, and good news makes the bones fat. The ear that listens to the reproof of life will lodge among the wise. He who ignores instruction despises his own soul, but he who listens to reproof acquires understanding. The fear of Jehovah is the instruction of wisdom, and humility comes before honor.